Ladies and gentlemen, will you please whoop, will you please holler, will you please welcome to the stage the one, the only, Jay Handley!
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I look like Jesus. We should probably start there, shouldn't we? That seems like a sensible place to start. Everyone thinks I look like Jesus. Like, everyone, man. I was in a coffee shop. I'll tell you this story. I was in this coffee shop, and the guy behind the counter was like, "Mate, has anyone ever told you you look exactly like Jesus?" And I was like, "Once or twice, it's come up." And he was like, "But you do, mate. I mean, you've got his hair. You got his beard. You've even got his eyebrows." I was like, "His eyebrows? Like, how well did this guy know Jesus?" And he goes, "What's your name, mate?" I was like, "It's Jay." And he was like, "Short for Jesus?" I was like, "No." And then he went, "Your mum should have called you Jesus." It's like, she didn't know. I didn't come out looking like this. You don't keep this. You know. Ironically, if you know you've got a fetus that looks like this coming out of you, it's the only fetus God's happy to see aborted. Just starting as I mean to go on, guys, it's fine. But no, it is fun looking like Jesus. I do enjoy it. Like, specifically when Jehovah's Witnesses come to the door. That's it's amazing. They're like, "Hello, sir, we've come to talk to you about you." If I'm feeling a bit mean, I like to go, "Sorry, guys, really, I'm just not interested." I can have loads of fun looking like Jesus. I've developed some pranks that I like to play. I like to go to church with a clipboard. That's always good. I just walk around not saying anything. You can go to hospitals as well. You know, just sneak in. Yeah. Get to the foot of someone's bed. And then go. Got to make sure you get the right bed, though, obviously. You know, you don't want to be like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Mahmood." Fuck. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. It's all right, guys. I'm allowed to do that joke. I'm from Birmingham, so it's fine. Yeah. All Muslims in Birmingham. It was on Fox News. When have they ever lied before? That was the headline, man. It was like 100% of Birmingham is Muslim. Fucking came as a surprise to me, to be honest. Damn near choked on my bacon sandwich when I found out. I don't know. It's fucking nuts, man, looking like Jesus. I do jokes about looking like Jesus, you know. I thought I'd find out about the guy, you know. I thought I'd find out about him. There's a book you can read. Yeah. It's called the Bible. Yeah, bestseller. Yeah, bought the Bible, thought I'd read it. Found out all sorts of interesting things about Jesus. Found out that Jesus had brothers and sisters. Does anyone know that? Yeah, fucking brothers. He had a little brother. Imagine that. Imagine being Jesus' little brother. It'd be fucking horrendous. Fucking, you've got to assume sibling rivalry is a bit of a non-starter in that fucking family. Yeah, you've got to assume Jesus was Mary's favourite and she had less time for shitty mortal children, you know. Little Billy Christ or whatever his name was, you know. Poor little Billy Christ. How the fuck was he going to compete with Jesus? I bet he tried as well. I bet he really tried. Trying to compete with Jesus for Mary's affections. He was like, "Mum, guess what? I fed a homeless man today." I was like, "Oh yeah, what did you feed him?" "I fed him a fish." "You fed one homeless man one fish." "You know how many people Jesus could have fed with that fish?" "Yeah, 5,000. "Yeah, Billy, in this family, that is a waste of a fish. Now, fuck off. Why can't he be more like your brother?" "Half brother. What did you say?" "Did you say?" Poor little Billy Christ. Fucking poor old Billy Christ, man. Imagine that, Jesus, your older brother. My older brother fucking bullied me. Imagine getting bullied by a kid with God powers. You know, Billy and Jesus down by the river with Jesus there going, "Come on, Billy, you can walk on water too." Splash. Probably got darker than that. Like, my brother's beat me up. Imagine getting beaten up by Jesus. He'd fucking wail the fuck out of you. Then just heal you. Ding. No one's going to believe you. Don't tell tales, Billy. Do not tell tales. Poor little Billy Christ. I think Jesus grew up to be a bit of a twat as well. Oh, he did. He did. There's evidence in the Bible. Like, he renamed all of his friends. What kind of arsehole does that? It's like, what's your name, mate? Simon. No, I'm going to call you Peter. But my name's Simon. You're embarrassing yourself, Peter. Right, next, you. I'm going to call you Judas. You'll regret that. Although I shouldn't make fun of Jesus, though. Christians don't like it. I guess it makes them angry, makes them cross, you know. It does, man. Like, Christians get angry about a lot of stuff. Like, gay marriage was legalised a few years ago. That was cool. And then Christians got angry about it. They were like, oh, no, you can't legalise gay marriage. It's a fucking abomination against God. I was like, I don't know if it is. It's like, you know, if it's an abomination against God. They're like, no, the sanctity of marriage is under threat. But I don't know. Do you think if God, like, really cared about the sanctity of marriage, like, why did he get Mary pregnant? You know, why not find a nice single lady? Yeah, God basically fucked Joseph's wife to spawn his own bastard child. It's a statement against marriage if ever I've heard one. Unless people are thinking God was just there going, don't do what I do what I say. Fucking poor old Joseph. I think Joseph's the real victim of the whole Jesus debacle. Poor old Joseph. I bet when Joseph got to heaven, him and God had a bit of a frosty relationship. He would have got to the pearly gates and be like, all right, Simon, my name's Peter, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Fucking saw God. Was like, is that God? All right, I'm going to have a fucking word to this prick. Yeah, all psyched himself up. I bet God was a dick to him right off the start as well. It was like, hello, God, nice to finally meet you. And God was like, yeah, so how's Mary? Yeah, tell her I said hi. Yeah, thanks for looking after my boy, by the way. Got him back in one piece, just about, you know. A few bumps and bruises, but you did what you could with what you had, Joe. Like, I bet Joseph got all defensive about it as well. He's like, you know, me and Mary had kids too, you know. He's like, oh yeah, Billy. Yeah, I'm sure you're really proud of Billy. God. Well, that's the thing about heaven. I think that's why people want to be religious. They want to get into heaven. You know, that's the thing. But I don't know if I'd want to go to heaven. Really, I've been thinking about it. I just think, like, if you got into heaven, like, everyone there would just be unbearably smug. They're just proud of themselves, patting themselves on the back all day, going, I always knew I was perfect. Yeah. Nice to have it confirmed. It'd be like a big cloudy vegan convention. It'd be fucking unbearable. Like, at least in hell, people would be humble, wouldn't they? Like, no one's getting on their high horse in hell. You know what was wrong with the world? It was us. Yeah. You can hang out with those people, it'll be fine. I don't know, I try and be good, like Jesus. I think I'm an alright kind of person. Like, I care about the world. Although, really, I only started caring about the world since I became single. You know, when you get in regular sex, you're pretty just walking through life going, rip-a-dip-bap-bap-boo-ba-dip-boo, skooba-dip-a-dip-boo. Nothing really knocks you off your stride. They're like, Donald Trump's the president. Rip-a-dip-bap-bap-boo-ba-dip-boo, skooba-dip-a-dip-bap. You know? But now I care about the world. But I worry, man. I worry about the things I care about. I worry like the things I care about are kind of like old-fashioned nowadays. Like, I still care about things like world hunger. Exactly, nothing for world hunger. It's boring, isn't it? It's fucking lame. Like, kids these days, young students, they got cool new hip concerns. You know, go up to a young student these days, you go, look, student, look, it's a picture of a starving African boy. They'll say, that's terrible. You just assumed its gender. How do you know that child identifies as a boy, huh? It could be anything. It could be boy, girl. It could be gender neutral. Did you ever think about that? It's like, no, I'm fucking 34. You know, it's all news to me. I didn't know that was an option, but you can be gender neutral these days. It's pretty cool, you know. It's like, according to people, I guess, like, gender, like, it's just a construct. It's like a social construct. It doesn't really matter. Like, what really matters is that they identify as people to whom it doesn't matter. More important than that is that you refer to them with the requisite neutral pronoun that indicates just how much gender does not matter to them. And if you don't, you're as bad as Hitler, apparently. You know, it makes me think, though, man, these people, they want to be referred to like a special pronoun. And that's kind of cool, I suppose. But I don't know, whenever I hear people like demanding to be like referred to in a specific way, I can't help but be reminded of people who try and pick their own nicknames. You know, know what sort of dickheads they are, you know. Sort of person who's like, hi, the name's Dave, but you can call me Big D. It's like, what do your friends call you? I don't have any. It's weird, man. This whole gender neutral category. It's made me think, though. It's made me think, like, now that we got this new category, gender neutral, like, is identifying as like a man or a woman now? Is that like some sort of extreme position? You know, like you're on the far left or far right of gender, when you could be in the neutral centre ground, like the Liberal Democrats of gender. And no one takes them seriously either. It makes me think, man. The thing I worry about the most about it is like I've always just been like a man by default. You know, but now that we've got this neutral category, I don't know if can I identify as a man anymore? You know, I'm worried now. I might have assumed my own gender. You know, because most of the time I feel like a man, but you stand me next to some 6'5" brick shithouse, all of a sudden I feel a bit neutral, to be honest. I'm going to go up to that guy and be like, I'm a man too. Yeah, nice one. Fucking crazy. But it's interesting though. Like, what is fascinating, the whole thing, like gender neutrality? It's weird. They seem to be like the first people in history, as far as I'm aware, who've ever tried to sort of like engineer their own minority. You know, like where it didn't exist before. You know, they want their own label. That's interesting, man. Because like previously, as far as I'm aware, in history, labels have always been used to sort of separate people and split them up, make it easier to oppress them. They've gone like, you're black, you're a Jew, you're gay, get in that box, stay away from the rest of us. But the neutral people are there going, oh, put us in a box. Oh, I want a label. Oh, but why won't the Nazis paint on my door? I want the Nazis to paint on my door. I want to go on a choo-choo train. Let me go on a train. I love camping and I always concentrate. Let me go on the train. That might not be what they're doing, to be honest. Like, but that's the problem with labels, man. Like, you can't control a label once you get it. Like, you can't make it like people use it however you want to have them use it. That's the problem, man. Because like some people are cunts, you know. That's the problem, you know. Any area of life, there's cunts. You know, there might be cunts in here tonight. You never know. Obviously, you won't identify as cunts, but you know. Might be something. You put your hand up there, mate. You're like, hang on, no, I am. Quite frankly, I am a cunt. So just wanted to throw that in. No, yeah, man. Some people are cunts, man. Just because you get this label, this neutral label, it doesn't mean people are going to use it nicely. You know, you might get people in bars going, "Oi, mate, fucking non-binaries just walked in, mate. Yeah, that guy is neutral as the day is neither long nor short, mate. Yeah. I'm going to say something like, oi, you fucking newt. Like, pick a team, Newt. What's wrong with you? I don't know why. I just feel like the Australian accent lends itself to bigotry. I don't know. I don't know why I picked that. But nah, it's fascinating, all this gender stuff, man. It's weird. Like, it makes me think, man. Like, I don't know, like, the contention is, I guess, is that, like, you know, gender is separate from sex. Like, sex is one thing and gender's another. Which is fair enough. That might be a good idea. I'm not sure. But if that's the case, if gender and sex are totally separate, then stop using the same words for both things. It's just confusing. They're basically saying male and female, totally separate from male and female. Yeah, I think we need brand new words for gender. Yeah, like you could be like a boobar or a flim-flam. Yeah, what would you be, dude? Boobar or flim-flam?
I'm neutral.
You're neutral. Nice one, dude. Excellent. Fucking glass smashing over there. What? Fucking Newt? Fucking got the Australians in. Nice one. I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, it's interesting, though. It's a label for yourself, isn't it? It's like labelling yourself, saying I'm gender neutral. It's like saying everyone else's idea of who I am is different from mine, and so therefore I'm going to label myself in a certain way. I suppose that makes sense, you know, like if that's how you feel about yourself, label yourself in that way. But it's not a label that's going to work in every sort of context, is it? Like, as an external label, it's not going to work. Like, police aren't going to use it. You know, you're not going to have police on their radios going, we've got a non-binary assailant on the loose. So, sorry to do this again, but is that a male non-binary or a female non-binary? I wouldn't want to assume that. Okay, let's say this non-binary person was having a wee. Would they be standing up or sitting down? It's like, toilets are a safe space. What goes on behind their hallowed walls is none of our concern. Oh, I don't know. So that's the thing. That is the thing. Like, I don't know if it works. But I don't think people care as well. Like, you know, I don't think people care about your own personal identity. Like, I think it's, there's no surprise that a lot of this has come out of the sort of student world. Because students really care about who they are, man. They haven't been crushed by society yet. But they'll come into the job market and people will just get exasperated by them. They'll be like, all right, yes, we've ascertained that you're gender neutral and you'd like to be referred to with the pronouns they and them. But more importantly, do you have any bartending experience? So that's really what we're looking for in this context. But I wonder about it, man. I think it's kind of made gender like more important than it ever was, man. It's like gender's like front and center in everyone's thinking all of a sudden. And like, I don't know, it's weird, like there's words that are gendered now. Like there's all these new words. Like have you heard the word mansplaining? Yeah, I never knew what it was. I've never thought myself as a particularly sexist person, but I will admit, when I first heard the word mansplaining, I did assume that it meant explaining something properly. Which, no, it does not mean that. No, it does not mean that. What it is when a man explains something to a woman that she already knows without giving it a due respect that she might already know it. It's basically condescension, but it's been gendered. You're being man condescending. Sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Can you only mansplain if you're a man? Or like maybe you could only be mansplained to if you're a woman. Because when a man hears another man explain something to him that he already knows, what he tends to do is say, I know. Sort of just kills it dead. But apparently there's women out there who, what they'll do is they will get silently furious. They'll sit there going, this prick is explaining something to me that I already know. Oh, if only there was some way I could let him know that I know. Because I do know. I know. I know. I'll write a blog about it. That'll fucking show him. Fucking prick. I don't know. I guess mansplaining's annoying, isn't it? If you're a lady. Do you find mansplaining annoying? Find it annoying, ladies? Yeah, you do? Yeah. I don't think you should ever have told us that. That was a terrible mistake, because men love annoying women. Like, when I first heard about mansplaining, I started doing it all the time. With my girlfriend going, I don't know if you know, darling, but the light in the fridge doesn't actually stay on when you close the door. No. Common misconception in your community. What it is, right, is there's a little switch in the roof of the fridge there. But put your laptop away. Stop blogging. What's wrong with you? I don't know. I guess men do mansplain, though. I guess we do. And I was trying to work out like why we do it. And I think it might be a bit more benign. I think men, a lot of the time, we mansplain because we just love showing off in front of women. Our minds are so corrupted by our sexual impulses that they twist themselves into this awful shape that lets us convince ourselves that, like, maybe if I could just explain why the credit crunch happened in less than 500 words, she'll touch it. That's where we're at mentally. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. I don't know. So much talk about gender, though, man. So much. It's weird, man. Like, 'cause I think it's a shame that gender's coming front and center and everything again. Because I thought we were getting there. We were getting to like a cool point, like a truly gender-neutral society where, like, man or woman, you didn't have to kowtow to any specific roles or stereotypes. If you're a woman, you could be a mathematician or a soldier, and if you're a man, you could be a dinner lady or a prostitute or whatever women do. It's my second favourite joke, by the way, guys. I love that joke so much. I actually filmed it once and put it on Facebook, and it got 500 comments. Not all of them positive. Well, one of the comments was from a female friend of mine, and she wrote, Jay, I do not like the dinner ladies and prostitutes joke, because you use prostitutes as a punchline to the joke, and they exist in a very low privileged position in society. So by using them as a punchline, you're actually punching down, and that's problematic. And I read her post, and I realised, like, I totally agreed with her. But then I reflected on it, and I realised that was just because I was reading her post with my man's voice. And that just made her sound right. What I did is I read it again. Only this time I made my voice all high-pitched and shrill. And instead of reading the words that she wrote, I just replaced them all with the sound meow. Yeah, so on second reading, what she actually said was meow, 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 meow. So it's fairly clear in that context, her arguments don't stand up to much scrutiny. It is an interesting argument, though. Like, prostitutes are in a low privileged position in society. Because what's interesting to me is, like, in that joke, there's also soldiers. Like, I use soldiers in that joke, and I think soldiers are quite similar to prostitutes in a weird way. Like, they are. Hear me out. Like, they are. Like, as prostitutes, it's typically women who are exploited for their feminine trait of, like, sexuality. Whereas, like, soldiers are typically men who are exploited for their masculine trait of violence and aggression. And both parties will lose some of their humanity in the process of that exploitation. But, like, often, like, soldiers, they'll lose even more than that. You know, they're in war zones. They'll often lose their lives. If they don't lose their lives, sometimes they'll get blown up, lose their legs. Hidden cost of war, actually, is, like, when they lose their legs, often they lose their genitals along with it. Although, like, to put your minds at ease, they do still retain their privilege, so it's fine. Yeah. But, you know, they lose their fucking genitals, man, and they have to have, like, penis transplants. It's a new technique. It's only been developed in the last couple of years, the penis transplant, right? And it's unique. I read about it. It's unique in the medical community as being the only transplant where, when you find out you've got a donor, you don't celebrate right away. Still got some questions, you know. You know, you get the call from the doctor, it's like, we found you a donor. It's like, that's wonderful, just one question. How big is this penis? It's like, sir, this is a dead man's cock we're talking about. Please show some respect. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm very grateful, obviously. I'm very grateful. Just out of interest, what was the guy's name? His name was Leroy. I'll take it. Leroy Chang. Hang on one second. I appreciate everything the NHS has done for me. I'd like to go private in this instance. Pick from a brochure. Fucking penis transplant, man. That blew my mind. Penis transplant. Because I had this thing about you get a heart transplant or something like that. You know, and all of a sudden you'll develop a taste for a food that you never previously liked before. You know, you get the heart transplant and you're like, oh, all of a sudden I like mushrooms. Never used to like mushrooms. And I'm like, oh yeah, the guy's heart it was. He loved mushrooms. It's like, oh, that's so spooky and weird. Like, what if that happens with a penis transplant? You know, what if you get a new taste in that department? You know, you find yourself trying out your new cock for the first time with your girlfriend. You're like, oh, this is fine, darling. No, I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's good. But can you spit in my face and call me Susan? Don't know where that came from, darling. I'm very sorry. Like, what if you got David Carradine's dick? You know, David Carradine, he played Bill in Kill Bill. He died very tragically in an autoerotic asphyxiation accident. Yeah, what he liked was to choke himself with a belt, knock one out. One day, choked himself too much, died. Yeah, what if his dick got donated? Yeah, next person develops a taste for the old strangle wank as well. He goes too far one day, he dies, dick gets donated again. Next person finds himself choke, 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 wank, 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 he dies, dick gets donated again. Leaving a trail of unholy corpses around the world. Serial killing penis on the loose. It's an idea for a film I've had, basically. I'm going to call it Spree Willy. I don't know what point I'm making with any of this. I think the point I'm making with this is like, I don't think privilege is binary. That was the point I was making with that bit. Because that's the thing, like this sort of male privilege, female privilege, it's sort of, it's weird, like it's suggested it's like a binary. It's like male privilege is all the way up there, female privilege is all the way down there. But I think it's more fluid than that, weirdly. Like it is different for everyone, like everyone has different experiences of life, you know, and it's fucked. I mean, I am like engaged with the whole like gender debate, you know, I pay attention to it, you know, I'm like engaged with it. Like it was International Women's Day just a few days ago. Yeah, fucking awesome. Yeah. I learned all about international women. Yeah, all over the world now, women. Yeah. They've gone global. Yeah, no longer just a local concern, you know. Yeah. Found out about the pay gap. Fucking hell, the pay gap. Bloody hell, man, that blew my mind. Because I used to think like men and women pretty much equal. Turns out men 20% better at making money. Oh, fucking cool, isn't it? I was all proud of myself. I was like walking tall the rest of the day going, oh, well done men. Nice to have a win for a change. In fact, fuck it, let's have a round of applause for the men. Come on, round of applause for the men. That's right, yeah. digging deep, going the extra mile just to carry water for you lazy bitches. It is a serious issue, the pay gap. I do take the piss, but it's a serious issue. I think like all genders, we just need to come together and find a way to get women to start pulling their weight. I've had some clever ideas about it. Like, I think women just need to be more aspirational. Yeah. Like, instead of being a nurse, be a doctor. Yeah. Instead of playing women's football, play men's football. You're like, more money. Shouldn't have to mansplain this to you. It's very simple. Very simple. But what really made me interested in the pay gap debate, like what I find was interesting, is it's sort of coming from the left wing. Like, and I've always considered myself quite left wing, and like it's coming from the left wing, but it's sort of putting like money on this sort of pedestal. Like, it's weird. It's like earnings are the big important thing, and that's typically never been like a left-wing perspective. But they're saying like, people are making not enough money. They need to be like richer and richer and richer, because that's like what is causing the pay gap more than like there's no women getting paid less for the same exact job. Like, that's illegal. Like, what's happening is there's typically way more men in the really high-powered positions, the really high-paid positions in society, like the chief executives, heads of industry, all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, like, as a left-wing dude, I've always looked up at those like super rich people and thought they're arseholes. You know, that's how I've always thought. And so I don't think we've really necessarily got a pay gap. We've got an arsehole gap. And you could argue that women are on the right side of the arsehole gap. You know, I think we need to close the arse. Hashtag close the ass gap, guys. Like, don't Google that, by the way. You'll get a very different website. That's how I think, man. Because I don't think money's that important, man. I think if people get obsessed with money, it's a shame. You know, because I used to have a fair amount of money before I became a comedian. Yeah, as far as life choices go, like, comedian was financially catastrophic. Yeah. But I used to make quite a lot of money in my old job. Believe it or not, I used to be a carpenter. That's not even a joke. I fucking was. Made furniture for like 7 years. And I made loads of money at that time, man. It was good. And I look back on that time now, though, because I've got less money now. I have more money then. But I look back on that time and I think, when I had money, like, all I ever really cared about spending it on, like, never anything to change my life dramatically. All I ever really wanted to buy was just slightly better versions of stuff I already had. You know, I was sort of stuck in this weird cycle of proactive stagnation. You know, making money just to get the money to fucking refine my extant experience. Like, and I remember when it came to a head for me. Like, one time I was watching television and I saw an advert on my television for another television. It takes some cheek, doesn't it, to try and sell you something you already own using an advert displayed on the very thing you already own. But the problem is, it fucking worked. It worked. This advert worked. I was watching it going, wow. That TV has a much better picture than mine. Blissfully unaware of the fact it was being displayed on my television. So I went out, I bought the TV, got it home, turned it on. First thing I saw was just another advert for a slightly better television. I thought, fuck, got to break the cycle somehow, man. But at the time, I was still trapped in consumerism, essentially. I was still trapped in, like, buying my way out of trouble. So what I thought I'd do is, I know what I'll do. I'll buy a projector. Yeah, no topping a projector, I'll be fine. Apex of the home cinema experience. And it was awesome. Got it home, turned it on, fucking screen the size of my wall, fucking films looked incredible. Although, like, quick word of warning, don't ever watch porn on a projector. It's emasculating enough on a laptop, you know. Let alone having to look at a cock that's bigger than your couch. I got this projector and I thought, that's it, man. I fucking reached the apex of the home cinema experience. I do not need to buy anything else. But it wasn't long before this fucking voice started kicking back into my head going like, hey, Jay, you can refine this experience. And I was like, how would I do that, little voice? And it was like, oh, you could get surround sound. It's like, oh, will that make me happy? It's like, you should get surround sound. Stop asking questions. I said, all right, I'll get surround sound. I'll fucking get surround sound. I don't care, man. I'll buy it, man. I started researching on the internet to find the best surround sound system that I could afford for my money. Like, I don't know if anyone else prefers that. Like, does anyone else here like prefer researching a purchase to actually owning the thing at the end of the day? So I spent long, happy hours fucking researching it, reading all the reviews on fucking what hi-fi and all this shit, pretending to understand them. Fucking hi-fi reviews, they're the most pretentious thing you'll ever read in your life. But I was there scratching my chin, like pretending. And I go, oh yeah, this one, the bass is more focused. Yeah, I like focus, but I don't like blurry bass. No, give me blurry bass or give me deaf. Oh, but this one, no, but apparently on this one, the sound is more transparent. No, I like to be able to see through sound. Yeah, that's very important to me. I like to be able to see through sound. I don't want the sound getting in the way of the picture of my screen. So I kept on researching, and then I found one. I was like, oh, this one's got transparent sound, focus-based, and what the fuck is it? Oh, a detailed high end. Give me that. Yes, I'm going to fucking have that. And I was just about to buy it. Right? I was just about to place the order, but then I heard this noise coming from outside my house, right? And it was the sound of children playing in a playground just across the road from where I live. And we've all heard that noise, haven't we? Just that wild cacophony of just pure joy and exuberance. Just children delighted to be outside with their friends, running around in the sun, not a care in the world. And when I heard that noise, I realised it didn't matter if I got surround sound. Still going to need soundproofing. Yeah, man. But now I'm a comedian, comedian as well. Fucking self-employed and single too. Fucking single again. It's rubbish being single, man. I don't know why I'm single, by the way. I can't work it out. I try and meet women, tell them how they can make more money, that sort of thing, but I never seem to like it. But I like these fucking women, but I just hate being single again, man. It's rough, man. I did have a girlfriend, by the way. She was called Mary, but yeah, she left me. She actually left me on Easter Monday. I know, last year. She was like, where the fuck have you been for 3 days? Out the door. So sad when she left. My friends were like rallying around me though. My friends tried to help me out. I've got one friend, he was trying to help me out with my heartbreak. But he's into this book called The Game. Have you heard about The Game? Yeah, basically it's like a pickup artist book. It's a handbook for pickup, basically an omnibus of advice for cunts, basically. It's a ridiculous book. And he said to me, mate, I've been reading The Game, right? It tells you in The Game, right, if you want to get over your bird, all you have to do is shag 10 more women. I was like, oh, cheers, The Game. That's 2 better than my all-time record. Right, according to this book, I've never got over anyone in my life before. Barely even got over myself. What if it doesn't work as well? I got to 8 in my prime. What if it doesn't work? I just find my friend. I'm like, I did it. I shagged 10 more women. I'm 67 years old now. And I'm still sad. It's a fucking book, The Game, as well. It's a weird book, man. If you don't know what it is, basically it teaches men how to get women. And the key principle is that the best way to get a woman into bed is to create a hole in their self-esteem that can only be filled by your cock. That's basically how it works. It's basically how The Game works. It's a fucking weird book, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd be comfortable meeting someone using those kind of tactics. Because what if it worked out and you ended up getting married and having kids? How do you explain that to your children? They're looking to you for guidance. You're like, Daddy, tell us how you and Mummy fell in love. It's like, I remember it like it was yesterday, son. I remember the first time I saw your mother. I just knew. I had to rate her out of 10. And she was an 8, but I was a 5. So I had to make her feel like a 4. So I started cutting her off in conversation, fucking making subtle digs about her appearance, and explaining things to her that she already knew. And after about 3 hours, her confidence was at such a low ebb, she agreed to have sex with me without a condom. And that's where you come in, son. No, man, it's tough being single again. It's tough. And self-employed, like a comedian. Single, self-employed. And comedian is a lonely job. I don't know if you know this, but it feels good tonight. Loads of people in the room, but it's a lonely job, man, because we get to perform to a bunch of people, but then we spend the rest of the time just alone in our houses. That's how I do it. I'm just alone in my house all day. My own boss. Yeah, it's all right being your own boss, but the sexual harassment is off the fucking wall. Oh my God, I can't keep my hands off myself. I'm very grabby. I'm very grabby as a boss. I'm always touching myself inappropriately, projecting porn onto the walls, I'm trapped inside the body of my own abuser. Yeah. Hashtag me too, guys. Fucking. Fucking me too, man. That was tough to hear. Me too was, oh God, that was so tough. It's weird, women just immediately, just in one moment, all of them decided to actually tell men why they were upset. Instead of going with the party line of, if you don't know, we're not going to tell you. And they told us with a fucking hashtag, and it was fucking terrifying. It's like, fuck, have men been doing this? Like, it's horrible to read, like finding out of men's all harassment and abuse and all this sort of shit. And then the Hollywood scandal happened, and that was fucking hard to hear. Like, apparently those, fucking actresses, where producers were getting actresses to have sex with them in exchange for parts in movies. I was thinking, fucking hell, man, that's rough. I was trying to empathise with the actresses, try and put myself in their shoes, and I was like, what would it be like for me if I had sex with a producer and then got given a part in a movie? And I'm pretty sure I'd spend the rest of the day going, I've got a magic dick. This is incredible, it grants wishes. Because men have never been able to buy anything with their dick. Never been able to use sex as currency. If men could buy anything with sex, we'd buy everything with sex. Fucking bus fare, wouldn't matter. It'd be like cash or card, neither. Whap. There you go. Dude, if men could buy anything with sex, god damn, there'd be a rush on the currency. It'd devalue overnight. It'd be like 90s, 20s Germany hyperinflation. You need a basket full of dicks just to buy a loaf of bread. If you left your basket full of dicks on the street outside the bakery, someone would steal the basket and leave the dicks on the floor. It's the thing, man. But it was rough to hear, man. It was rough to hear, man. Because it's an abuse of power, isn't it? These producers, they're in a powerful position and they're abusing their power. But then it makes me think it's like privilege, isn't it? It's power binary, is power not fluid as well? Because yes, these producers abuse their power, but who's more powerful, right? Is it the actress who, in order to get a part in a movie, has to have sex with a producer? Or is it a producer who, in order to have sex with an actress, has to produce an entire movie? I mean, that is not a cheap date, guys. Fucking hell. I mean, I think the one thing we did definitely learn from the Hollywood scandal was that if you do get sexually assaulted, it's probably better if it's a famous person who does it. Because then what happens is people care. It's nuts. It's like front page news everywhere. It's across all the TV, across all the newspapers. People really give a shit. I feel bad for all those poor women who are assaulted by men who aren't famous, giving their statements to the police, and the police are there going, so have you seen your assaulter in any films or TV? It's like, no, but he lives in that house there. It's like, I'm sorry, that's not enough to go on. We're really going to need some more. It's crazy, man. I don't know. I know I'm like a straight white man talking about all this. I'm aware of that as well. It's just this straight white man talking about all these important issues, but got all my male privilege. I'm a fucking straight white man as well. As far as privilege goes, that's like a triple threat. It's like being all three Power Rangers. It's like straight white man, patriarchy, yeah. Fucking top of the ladder, man. It's straight white man. Although I only have male privilege from this angle, by the way. If that softens it, if you turn me round, you're telling me you wouldn't oppress that? You fucking oppress that. You oppress the shit out of that. Fucking straight white man talking about all this stuff. White as well. The fucking, oh man, what a jackpot. White. It's weird being white, man. I was trying to think about what it's like to be white. Because that's the privilege of being white, I think, is we don't have to think about it that much. Our whiteness is kind of in the small print of who we are. Whereas if you're in a minority, your race is in the big print. Society puts it as the headline news of who you are. And when we get to enjoy just the big print of ourselves being our personality, what we're like as people, our race is in the small print. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to think about what it's actually like to be white. What does it feel like to be white? And I guess you can define yourself by your fears, can't you? And I guess as a white person, I'm probably most afraid of two things. People thinking I'm racist and black people. That's my favourite joke in the show, by the way. If you're white and you're not laughing at that, what's happening is you're letting fear number one get in the way of enjoying fear number two. First time I did that joke, I made sure I did it in a 100% black audience room in Brixton, and they loved it. So if you're not laughing, you're probably racist. It's just a thing, man. We've all been a bit racist today, don't we? A little bit. Because you all laughed at my Jesus jokes at the start of the show. You're like, oh yeah, you look like Jesus, but I don't really, do I? Because I'm white. This isn't what Jesus looked like. This is Renaissance Christ. This is oil painting propaganda Christ. This is the cultural appropriation of Christ. Anyway, Jesus was white as if God was racist. They're like, you sure, God? You want a Middle Eastern woman to give birth to a white baby? It's like, well, I just want my son to be able to get into a golf club. I mean, how's he supposed to get anywhere in life if he can't make the right connections? God was probably Jesus was probably Middle Eastern, Although there's an argument to say like Jesus was actually North African, that he was a black dude. And that could be true, Although, I don't know, if I was black and I found out that Jesus was black, I'd be furious with him. Because when he went to heaven, he fucking pulled the ladder up after him, didn't he? Left all his black mates down below with a misguided sense of optimism. All looking up at him and going, yes, Jesus, it's nice to have a black man on the throne of heaven. Next 2,000 years, it's going to be sweet, isn't it? It's like, I'm sorry, the reception's very bad in heaven. I can't really make out what you're saying. It's very cloudy. Also, vegans patting themselves on the back. I can't really make it out over the noise. Jesus is like the guy who grew up in Peckham and moved to Putney and fucked off all his mates. It's the original Uncle Tom. That's the thing. It's weird, isn't it? A white dude talking about race, though. That's always strange. I think I've got a right to talk about race, because when I was growing up, my two best friends in the whole world, they were both black. And you need two, by the way. Yeah. Can't get away with just one. If you're one of these white people who says, I can talk about race, one of my mates is black. It's like, no. If only one of your friends is black, what that means is that guy has not introduced you to any of his friends. He was the gatekeeper of the black community, and you failed every test he had for you. That guy's not your friend. He's your dealer, at best. Fear number one, guys. Fear number one, by the way. But I remember growing up with my friends, man. I just wanted to be like them. I actually wanted to be black. That was the weird thing when I was a kid. I just wanted to be like my friends. That's how I felt. Just wanted to be black. And when we were little, our races really didn't matter to us. But we hit this sort of age, about 14, and that was when their race became far more important, front and centre in how they saw themselves. And I remember when it happened, it was crazy. We were outside, and it started snowing. And I was like, wonderful, snowing, love snow. Then my friend went, psh, black people don't like snow. I was like, what, did you have a meeting? I was like, what? When did you all decide this as a people? But it was my first introduction to the fact that he had a sense of himself beyond himself. He had a sense of himself in the context of his whole group identity, And I kind of wanted in on that. It felt cool to me. I was like, fuck, I wish I could identify with that. And I tried to be black. Spoiler alert, I didn't pull it off. Yeah, so I'd gone for something more achievable, like Jewish or French or something like that. I tried to be black, and I remember getting jealous of my friend's blackness in this fucking weird ways. I got jealous. One time we were outside walking down the street, and the fucking police stopped and searched my friend. And I got jealous. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Oh, that's the authentic black experience. Oh, I wish I was getting searched. I actually went, are you going to search me as well? And they were like, don't kid yourself, mate. I got desperate. I was like, but I've got weed in my pocket. And they were like, you might well have weed in your pocket, but this black gentleman is under suspicion of drinking a can of Coke sold separately from a multi-pack. So I think you'll find we've got bigger fish to fry over here. But no, I'm talking about race, thinking about it. It's weird, when you're white, you have a strange relationship to it, I think. It's either supremacy or guilt. I think those are our choices. And white guilt comes out in all sorts of strange ways, man. There's this one website, I don't know if you've heard about it, it's called Everyday Feminism. It was the source of most of my material tonight, to be honest. It's called Everyday Feminism. And this website, it runs a course, an online course you can do, which is called How to Heal Your Toxic Whiteness. Yeah, I know. It's fucking amazing. It sounds like something you do on a spa weekend. It's like, what's the spa weekend like? Well, in the morning, we do hot yoga. Yeah. Then in the afternoon, we heal our toxic whiteness. Well, by the evening, we're all just so smug. All that's left to do is wank in front of the mirror. Yeah, it's fucking wonderful. Fucking heal your toxic whiteness, man. It's a course, it claims to be able to cure your white privilege and your innate white racism. So I looked into it, and it's actually run in part by a white lady. And that confused me, to be honest. A white lady runs the course. It feels less like a course now, and more like a fucking desperate grasp on the part of this white person that the one thing that white privilege will never get us, which is the moral high ground. In case you're wondering, no, we can't have it. We can have everything else, but we can't have the moral high ground. And this course, it feels like it's designed to give white people that sense of moral superiority that we don't deserve. It's a weird course. And the thing that fucking really worries me about it, the thing that mainly worries me about it, because like in its essence, that sounds all right, doesn't it? Like fucking heal your privilege, heal your innate racism. That sounds like a good thing to do. But the problem is, this course, it costs $94. You know, if you found a cure for racism, don't charge people for it. Martin Luther King never said, "I have a dream," for $39.95. You can hear it too. I think that's pretty much all I had to say. I mean, I know I've been talking about every other different fucking group of people as well today. I'm just this dude. I'm interested in other people's identities, I think, because I don't really think much about my own. Like, straight white man, this kind of boring vanilla identity, and this is the neutral identity of this society, so I don't really think about it. And I have a weird identity anyway, because I'm a comedian. You know, I basically filter my sense of self through audiences every night, so I get a new sense of who I am every single night, depending on how an audience receives me. I think like today, been pretty funny. Yeah. Another day, there might be more women in the audience, and then, might change rapidly. You know. It's weird, man. I don't even get to be Jay Handley as an identity most of the time, because most people just see me as Jesus, to be honest. Like that guy in the fucking coffee shop saw me as Jesus. Like I was walking through Edinburgh when I was doing this show at the Edinburgh Fringe, and this guy just from across the street was like, "Hey, Jesus, come here, Jesus. I want a photo with Jesus, eh?" And I was like, "You can't have a photo with Jesus, but you can, if you want, have a photo with comedian Jay Handley." And he just went, "Don't be a cunt, pal." I was being a cunt just for trying to be Jay Handley, you know. Fucking everyone wants me to be Jesus, even the fucking bar staff here. Like before I went on, they were like, "Do you want a drink before the show?" I was like, "Yes, please. I'll have a glass of red wine." And they fucking gave me this. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with that. It's been a privilege, though, guys. Genuinely, thank you for supporting the show. See you later. Take care, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Nice one.